Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this is part 2 of our journal that we're making from the Flight and Airy paper set, Stampin' Up. And I've selected a pile of papers from my stash. I did decide that I'm going to use some coffee dyed paper. So we'll go over those here in just a minute. But I need to cut these down. So I'm going to choose 3 papers from this pack to put into the journal as pages. And I think I'm going to do this one with this blue background that can be written on. I'm going to do this one with this pretty leaf background. I'm going to do this one with the floral background. I'm going to save this we can use for ephemera because and I pulled, because there's 2 of each pattern in the pack, and I just pulled out the patterns that I haven't used yet and set the others aside. But these, because the birds are smaller, I think they would make nice tucks and pockets and tags and stuff like that. All of these would, but so what we're going to do is we're going to cut these 3. I want 3 of these in there, and they're directional, so we want to make sure we have the right direction. So I'm going to cut these like a standard 8.5 by 11. So I'm going to cut these, so 8.5 tall. So I'm just going to put each one in here and cut them at 8.5. And then save your pieces. So there's one at 8.5. And this needs to be 8.5. Now each of these cutoffs we're going to go ahead and save. And then we're going to cut this one down to 8.5. Okay, now I'm going to turn this. I'm going to cut this so that it's 11 inches wide. These 2, I'm going to save these. So that one's done, and we'll cut this one to 11. And this one down to 11. Okay, got these 3 cut now. Now I do want to decide. I do want one of these DSPs in the center, so I have to decide which one I want in the center. And I think this is the one I want in the center. So I'm going to fold it in so the image is on the inside. And just fold it in half. There's that one, and then these can be folded with the bird images on the outside. Okay, so we've got these 3 here. Now here are the other pages I I'll show you how to do coffee here in a little bit. Coffee dyed. These are coffee dyed pages. Some of them are ones that I coffee dyed, and some of them are ones that somebody else has coffee dyed. In my stash, I had a piece of this, I don't know, linen paper or parchment paper. It's like resume paper. It's a thicker paper. I have a piece of this ledger paper, another piece here. I had a piece of this pink paper I thought would look good. blue grid paper, and I have a piece of this stationery, and they're all just folded in half, 8.5 by 11, that I thought would look really good. A couple of pieces here, these are ones that I've copy dyed, are actually the longer ones, so I did it so we have a little flap, and there's 2 of those in there. So what we're going to do now, this is my center of my signature. One of these is going to be the first page. I think we're going to do this one as the, no, we're going to do this one as the first page. So then I just want to kind of figure out, and I'm doing 15 sheets in here. That will make a 60-page journal. So that goes with that pile. This is the flip. And what I mean by flip is that the page flips like that. So we've got 2 of those, and then we've got these. So since this is my first page, that's 3, so 12. Every 4th page, I'm going to put after putting 4 in there, I'm going to put a piece of DSP. So we have this beautiful paper, and I think I'm just going to go ahead and start with a piece of copy dyed right there. Now you could just use plain copy paper if you want. That's absolutely fine. I think I'm going to stick, this one I might have to cut down because it might be too long. It is, but that's okay. We'll put it in there for now, and then we'll cut it down. Then I'm going to put another piece of copy dyed here, and we will add this parchment. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab my other DSP here and put that in there, and then I'm going to add one of my, I'm going to have it this way so it flips towards the back, copy dyed. I'm going to grab a piece of this pink, another piece of my coffee dyed paper, and I think I'll grab this blue grid. And we still have 4 more. I actually need to stick more because this is going to be in the center. So let's pull this one out and see what other pieces I want to put in here. Probably let's do the blue. And we have white right there on the other side. We'll do this, and we'll do this flip that goes this direction because we've got one in here already. Let's look at this. That. So let's put, I'm going to put this green right here. It doesn't really matter. It's just how you want it to look. Okay, let's see what these pages look like all together now. So here's our first page, that page. You want to make sure you have it how you like it. Flip page, and that one, pink, blue grid, green. You can even use music sheet paper, and then the blue. I think I'm good with that. So these are all going to go in here in our cover. And those will be your pages that we will decorate. So the next thing I need to do is I need to make sure, so if you see when the pages are together, they start to fan out like that. That means if it bothers you, we need to trim it down. But you want to make sure that they're not coming out of the front. So for me, I'm fine with that, but you can take them and trim them down either with a ruler, an X-Acto knife, or just shave them down till you get them the way you want them. Now the height, if I don't have to trim that piece down, I won't, and I don't have to. So there is our pages for our journal. So the next step would be to, for me, I like to decorate the pages when they're inside the journal. And so that's the next step, is to sew these pages in and get them ready for us to start decorating and embellishing. However, since I have some white in here, I think, one page. Maybe we'll stencil it. Wherever I put it, right? Nope. Right here. I think stenciling would be good on that, just to break up the whiteness, since I don't have that much white in here on my pages. Just to break it up. Okay, so I'm going to get stuff ready so that we can stencil or do whatever we want that would be easier while they're out. And then we will sew in the signature. And we'll be ready to decorate this journal. So give me a few minutes and I'll be right back. Okay, I've pulled some Stampin' Up! Stencils that I have in my stash, and all the colors that are in the paper. And so I'm gonna just, let's pull that one out. I know I want to stencil. I might want to stencil on these since I have all the stencils out. Just to give it some character. So this one here I definitely want to stencil on, so I'm going to pull that out, and I'm not sure what color I want to do. I might want to go with some pink just because, or actually maybe some yellow. Daffodil Delight. Let's grab some brushes. Okay, so I just need to decide what color I want to stencil on this. I've got a lot of green going on here in this section. Maybe we will do the bubble bath. And we could always do a mixture, but I'm going to go ahead and pull out the bubble bath. Let's see, what stencil? I think I'm going to use this flower stencil right here. Just going to go ahead, pick up some ink. And I'm not going to stencil the whole page. I'm just going to randomly stencil light and dark, just to give it some character. Do some over here in the corner, because I still want this to be written on. So I want this to be able to be written on, so I don't want to get it to where you can't see if you're writing. But this just gives it dimension, character. That's pretty. Let's see, do I want to do any more on this? So see, that's what I have so far. See if you can see this in there. Yeah, just real light, just to add some. I think I am going to do a little bit more on here. I think I'm going to do just right there. And then I'll add a little bit more right here. Okay, that gives us a little bit there. Now we're going to do this side. I tend to go corner to corner, at least 2 different corners, just to get some there. And I'll probably do a little bit over here, that little spot. And then I'll do some down here, maybe just down this side here. There we go. That's good. That breaks up that white a little bit. That's a nice, pretty color. Okay, let's see, where was this? This was where this parchment was. And that just gives it some character. That looks nice. Now I'm thinking I want to, since I have them out, I think I might want to do some stenciling on both sides of this. So I think let's do some Lost Lagoon. That would be pretty. Maybe just some of this with some Lost Lagoon. Oh, that looks, I like that. Got some darker and lighter in there. That's really fun. That. Come down here. Do a bigger area right there. Okay, I like that. That adds a little bit to it, just a little bit. So I'm going to do the inside too, and I think I'm going to add Calypso Coral. There's a lot of colors in these papers, which makes it fun. I think that's more of an orangey, so I'm going to use my orange brush. And I might use the same one. I'm not going to worry about cleaning it off. If a little bit gets on there, I'm okay with that, of the other color. Oh, that's really a lot of fun. Just random, wherever you want to put stencil that you think you want to add some character to your paper, or just break it up a little bit. Do long ways. I'm going to kind of do a border right here, I think. I like that. Okay. So there's the Calypso Coral. That's nice. I'm happy with that. Alright, so while we have the stencils out, we'll see what other pages we want to do. And that looks nice. We've got, yeah, I'm really happy with that. Okay. Now, do we want to do any stenciling on this page? I think so. We're just going to stencil. Okay, so let's get some, let's do some pecan pie. Oh, that's going to be a really bright color. Let's do crumb cake. So I have some crumb cake here. I'm going to do a neutral. And let's do some of this really pretty pattern here. I really like that. Okay, I'm gonna do some up here on the corner. that's fun. We're gonna flip that over and let's maybe some fresh freesia. Oh, let's do Flirty Flamingo. It's a bright pink, bright fun pink. I'm gonna do some of these fun little filigree things here. That's fun. I'll do a little bit right there on the spine. There we go. And some right here. That's fun. Okay, so there's a fun piece here that's stenciled. All right, let's take a look and see what we got so far. Stenciling on those. See what we got in here. Now this with pink one would be fun to stencil. I am actually going to try some boho blue on it. And I think I'm just going to do, I'm going to do dots, do polka dots. Let's see what we get. So that's fun. I want to go lighter. Go here. That's a lot of fun. I'm liking that. Okay. Do some more. I think I'm going to do dots on both sides, and I'm going to stay with the boho blue. That's fun. Subtle, and it can still be written on like that. All right. Do the same thing here. Get a dark spot in that corner and just kind of come down along here. And then that. Yeah, just do whatever you want to do. If you want to cover the whole page in stenciling, that's totally up to you. This journal making and decorating is totally a totally free art form. Just do what you feel. I'm naturally an eclectic journal maker, so I just like to put all kinds of stuff in there. But I do stay with colors, but it might have different, you know, different other elements, but I try to stay within the color family that's in my journal. Okay, so we've got that page stenciled. So we just have these few pages left. Let me see if I want to do any more here. Take a look page by page. It's good interest there. think we need to stencil one more page in here, and I think I'm going to do, oh yeah, because it has white on that side. I'm going to do this one, and this will be the last one. So for this one, I'm going to do fresh freesia. And I think I'm going to go for this floral thing again here. Subtle. I don't know if my pad is getting dry. I've had this pad for a little while. I might have to see if I have a re-inker to re-ink it. But that gave me some pattern, so I'm good with that. Okay. That. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and do this side. I definitely need to re-ink that pad. Okay, I'm good with that there. Okay, that's all the stenciling I'm going to do for these pages. So then my next thing is to sew these into the signature. Just want to check one more time and make sure I don't want to do anything else to the pages. Make sure I'm good with everything. Yep, I am happy with that. All right, so I'm going to clean this stuff up, and then I'll be back and we will sew the signature into our cover. Okay, so I have the pages here. I want to make sure they're facing the right direction. I have my cover. I have my take your pick tool. Now I'm going to use, I actually have a kit because I make journals all the time. And I have some wax thread. You don't have to use wax thread, but you want to use something that's not, when you pull tight on it, it's not going to break. Twine is really good if you have any twine. You can use ribbon. I'm not going to use ribbon. And I think I'm going to use this color right here. So to measure the amount that you need, typical rule of thumb is to measure 3 times the length of your book. So there's 1, 2, 3. And then we're just going to cut that off there. And that's all the thread we need. You will need something to poke into because you're going to be puncturing the journal and the pages. set that aside. Now in here at some point in my life I collected large paper clips. You can use binder clips, whatever you need to hold the pages together, because we're going to need that. I have, because I crochet, I have a crochet darning needle in here somewhere. I have all kinds of needles in here. But if you just need something with a bigger eye that you can get through the hole, and you can get your thread or whatever, your yarn. So I'm going to use that. Sewing thread would not be strong enough to hold this. Okay, so, and I have this mat here for piercing. So what we're going to need to do is first take our pages out and get them situated the way we want them. Make sure that these are all together, even. And once they are, just kind of hold them in place and put your clips on there. You could put them this way to hold your pages. I always do it on, for me, I always do it on the edges. And I keep it as far away from the bottom as I can, because I'm going to be working with the take your pick tool, the bigger end here, to poke my tool. Actually, we don't need that big of a hole. That thread isn't that big, so let's, I have the other ends here, so let's use the smaller end that you can get as an attachment, an add-on attachment, and we'll use that. But if you have the bigger one, that's totally fine. So I'm going to use this end to pierce. And I'm going to get this in my book. Making sure that everything is going the right orientation. And I'm going to center this in my spine here. And I'm actually going to hold this close. You can clip around the book to hold them in place. I'm not going to. I'm going to hold it with my finger. You're going to want to go in. You're going to make 3 punctures. So you're going to go in about a 1/2 inch. Now I eyeball everything. 1/2 inch from the top, 1/2 inch from the bottom, and kind of center it. So just get your needle where you think about you want your hole, and then go ahead and poke that through, and then pull it out, and do the same thing over on this end. Poke it through, pull that out, and then I'm going to eyeball my center. That looks about right. There we go. Now our holes are punctured. Go ahead and put that cap on there. I'm going to thread my needle. Okay, you can do this from the outside or the inside. I always do the inside. And I'm just going to go in here, and I'm going to start in the middle hole, poke my needle through, pull it through, you need a tail left, so I'm going to make sure I leave a tail. You can go in from the top or the bottom. I'm going to go in from the top and come through the other side. You will want to try to hold your paper in place, otherwise you do have to find the hole. And because I poked with the smaller one, I am going to have to work my needle through, because where the eye is, it's wider than the hole, and plus I have the thread in there. And you just keep working it, and it will get through. I just recently started using this wax thread, and it's durable. It doesn't break, but it is a little bit thicker. almost through. There we go. Okay, so then we're going to go back through to, we're going to skip the center here, and we're going to go through at the bottom and get that through on the other side. Now your linen thread will probably go through a lot easier than what I'm using, but I like it because it's strong. Okay, so I'm going to pull my tail here. I'm going to pull it taut. We don't want to split the thread, and we're going to poke that in, and hopefully I can get it into the other side without much of a problem, but I do sometimes have problems getting it in. So if you do have problems getting it in, you can poke it through so that you can see. Just loosen that up a little bit and then get it through your page here. Sometimes I can do these and it goes without any problem, and then other times I do these and it just, I have to fight it. So it just depends, I guess. Make sure I didn't split my thread. It's okay if it's loose at this point because you're just trying to get the thread. We'll tighten it up once we get the thread through. There we go. Okay, good. I didn't split it. You are going to want to make sure that one is on one side of that center thread and the other is on this side. So we're done with that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to tighten this, and we want to look and make sure that this is tight. I'm going to take out my paper clips. Make sure before I finish it that everything's facing the right direction, and it is. So I'm just going to want to make sure that this is good and tight. Then I'm going to tie over with a string on either side. I'm just going to tie a double knot. And you're just going to pull it tight. And I'm going to leave these here. Sometimes people like to put like little dangles on here. I might. I have some Stampin' Up! Ones. Just going to fold this over. And I'm going to put my stuff away so I don't lose it. And then the last thing we want to do is we want to, this will all work itself out, but we want to start training the pages. So meaning that you're just going to turn every page and then just run your hand along the spine there. Now the first half of this is going to cooperate really well. It's going to be really easy to get this trained so that it turns easy. And all we're doing is getting it used to being turned. The last half, it's a little bit, it's not hard, it's just, it's wants to lay this way instead of this way, so. Okay, now we're gonna go do this. Let's make sure we push on that and give it a good crease. Now my style of journal making is I like to make writing journals. I love the pretty papers in there, so I create space where the pretty papers are at, because most of the time you don't journal on them, and I just create more journaling space. So there's the start of our journal. We've got the bare bones of it together, and now the fun part begins. We get to decorate the cover and the pages with pockets and tags and tucks and journal cards. We're gonna kind of go with, I want to show you how you can use any of your card fronts that you make for your cards can also be journal cards, tags, and stuff like that. So there is the start of our journal. We are ready to decorate and get this all good to go for gift or whatever reason you would be making one for yourself. These are just really, really fun. This is so fun. Thank you for joining me, and I will catch you on part 3.